In this video, I am going to show you how to write faster as a freelance writer. I've been excited to record this since when I started freelance writing way back in 2015. It took me nearly an hour to write a 500-word blog, whereas it only takes me 15 minutes to write that exact same blog today. So to give you a basis against which you can measure your own speed at freelance writing, let's look at what the average word per minute typing speed is for writers when they are getting started. Different studies claim that the average person can write at 40 words per minute, but that more productive people typically clock in around 65 to 70 words per minute. One Medium article I found documented a person's journey from 50 words per minute up to 119 words per minute, and I really like the graph that they included because I would feel that I have had a similar journey with how quickly I can write. For myself personally, I started at around 50 words per minute, and I would say on average I do type at around 100 words per minute today. On some of my more energetic days, and no, I do not drink coffee, amazingly, I can get up to 110 or 120 words per minute. However, mind you, I have been doing this for 7 years. So if you're watching this right now and you're panicked because you can barely clock in at 40 words per minute, fear not, I'm gonna go over 6 different ways to improve your freelance writing efficiency. But real quick, I wanna say thank you to Blockchain who has sponsored this video. Blockchain is an innovative social media platform made for readers and writers to break away from the traditional big tech platforms out there today. The responsive editor makes the writing experience super smooth, and you can easily share Blockchain articles to other social platforms using their tools. You can earn money from your audience through reader subscriptions. You just create the payment tiers and access super insightful post analytics to keep growing. You can also support your favorite writers by following and subscribing to their work. With Blockchain, you have a familiar social and publishing experience on top of their mission for data privacy and transparent algorithms. The app is actually built on a blockchain, which probably doesn't mean what you think it does. Being on the blockchain means accountability is hard-coded, so there are no random post takedowns and no shadow banning. Instead, the goal is censorship resilience and more community power. I really believe blockchain is using modern technology to curate a place where readers and writers can have more productive, open conversations and discourses. You can create an account and explore the app at blockchain.app, and I'm also going to link to it in the show notes below. All right, we're back. Now it's time to dive into this list so you can become a faster writer. First up, we have the simplest yet most profound thing you could do to write more efficiently, and that is writing every single day for months and years on end. When I started freelance writing in December 2015, I didn't know what I was doing, but I did make sure to write every single day for months, and after a while I did notice my writing speed, efficiency, accuracy all improving. Even if it was just a 100-word tweet for a client or a 1,000-word article, any type of writing that I could do every day, I made sure to carve out time to just get it done. And after a while it actually became a habit, and now in 2022 I kind of can't imagine going through the day without writing something. It's become part of me. That sounds a little dramatic, but it is true. The more you write, I really believe the better you are going to become at it and the more quickly you're going to be able to do it. As the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. It's definitely true because the speed at which I can write in 2022 is nothing compared to how it was when I first started out. And if you had asked me when I was 22 if I could write at this speed today, I would have told you you are crazy. My second tip is I would recommend not editing your work until you are completely done with it. You are going to have an urge to edit as you go because you're going to want to make whatever you've done look all nice and pretty. But let me tell you, you are going to waste a lot of time doing this. I believe when we are writing and editing, we are using 2 different sides of our brain. When you're writing, you're doing something very creative. You're coming up with content out of nowhere. When you're editing, you're doing something much more analytical and technical. And I think forcing your brain to switch between the 2 is going to significantly slow you down. Not to mention, you're going to change things, add in things. So if you spent 15 minutes editing a sentence that you're ultimately going to delete, that's just straight up 15 wasted minutes while you're copywriting. I actually only edit my work once before I deliver it to the client. Once I'm completely done with it, I will do one thorough read through. I'll check for everything. Sometimes I use Grammarly if it's a longer piece of content, although I don't believe Grammarly or other tools yet can catch everything, but they certainly can help you so that all you have to do is come in and look for the final edits and typos on top of it. There's obviously always a desire to deliver something absolutely perfect to the client, but there is no such thing as perfect, and if they're hiring you to copyright for them, they are ultimately putting their faith in you to create new content as opposed to editing it. There is an expectation that you do edit it and check for typos, but don't feel like you have to edit it 3 times. My third tip is to create a questionnaire in which you get as much information from the client as possible so that by the time the order is submitted to you, you have everything you need to hit the ground running. You could put things in your questionnaire like, what is your proposed title for this piece? That way you can make the client give you the title so you don't even have to think it up. If they give you an approved title, all you have to do is copy and paste it into Google to get started with the research process. It saves you a ton of time. And it also helps with miscommunications with clients so they don't end up getting mad and leaving you a 1-star review. Which brings me to my fourth tip, which has to do with research. If the client gives you a title already, all I do is copy and paste it into Google, and I start scrolling and look for 3 accredited sources that relate to that title. When I say accredited, I mean using websites like Inc. or Entrepreneur Mag as opposed to some random person's blog that they opened last week. When I find these 3 articles, I open each of them and I start to glance at them while I write the article. So as opposed to reading through every single one of these research articles and then writing the piece, I read them as I write. This significantly cut down the amount of time I spent on my freelance writing orders. I obviously never plagiarize, and if I'm referencing any type of quote or stat, I always hyperlink to the article that I use, and I also include them at the end of the blog under a references section. All I do is paste the link there. I don't do any fancy citations or anything like that. My 5th tip, and this goes without saying, is you need to be in an environment with 0 distractions. For me, I cannot listen to people talk. I can't listen to music. I can't listen to background noise while I'm writing. It has to be completely silent, which is why I schedule all of my writing typically in the morning while I'm at my house completely alone. If I know someone's coming over for lunch or something like that, there's no way I can write while other people are around me. And I learned this about my writing style early on, so it's really important that you identify what kind of environment you need to be productive at this. I also flip my phone over, obviously, because looking at social media isn't going to be helpful, but I am realistic with my focus periods. So what I mean by that is I'm able to focus intently at writing for about 20 minutes before I feel my brain need to come up for air. So at the 20-minute mark, I do allow myself to step away, check my phone, maybe listen to one song, recalibrate before I go back to writing more of whatever it is I'm writing. I sometimes think today with how our schooling is structured that we're expected to be able to focus for 45 minutes at a time, and that's just not how our brains work. So it's okay to build in these periods where you rest before you get back to work. Now, when I say rest, I'm not saying take 2 hours off to go play around on Facebook, but giving yourself a little 5-minute break before you dive back into it, I think will make you an overall more efficient writer. So lastly, my final tip is I use the same structure for 99% of the blogs and articles I write for clients. My blog gig is my most popular. It's been my most popular the last 8 years, so I spend most of my time writing blogs. And by using this same structure, I don't have to think up, I don't have to get creative and come up with this new format or frame for every single piece of writing I'm doing, because that would add a lot more time into it. So I follow this same structure that I'm gonna paste on the screen right here, and it keeps every client happy. People love this simplistic breakdown. They love bullet points. People have really short attention spans today, so being able to skim over the writing in the blog is gonna be more effective for them. It's gonna get them more business and more money, which is gonna make them very happy. Real quick, if you guys have not done so already, please like this video and subscribe. We have put a lot of effort into improving the quality of these videos, and I love to hear from you guys below if you like these topics and what other topics you want to see from me. Please don't be intimidated by the idea of getting into freelance writing. I by no means considered myself some prolific, life-changing writer when I got started doing this. I just doubled down with the efficiency. Every time I look in the mirror, I really feel like Jane from Tarzan. I'm like, Jane, is that you? Where's Tarzan? Someone find me a Tarzan. I wanna know, can you show me?
Do you want a man that can't speak?
I wanna know about the strangers like me. Please don't be intimidated by the idea of freelance writing. I promise you guys, when I got started doing this, I was by no means a special prolific writer. I was not Shakespeare reincarnate. I've just been very productive and efficient with how I get my copy done, and by being stubborn with it over the last 7 years, I believe that alone is what has made me a better writer. Do you guys have any hacks that enable you to write more quickly? I would love to know below. And before we end this video, you guys know what time it is. Young Night Thought, in my book, A Child's Garden of Verses. All night long and every night, when my mama puts out the light, I see the people marching by, as plain as day before my eye. Armies and emperors and kings, all carrying different kinds of things, and marching in so grand a way you never saw the like by day. So fine a show is never seen at the great circus on the green, for every kind of beast and man is marching in that caravan. At first they move a little slow, but still the faster on they go, and still beside them close I keep, until we reach the town of sleep. What a great poem. That was a great poem. That was adorable. It's a cute bedtime poem. All right, guys, see you next week.